Alright, welcome to what is going to be my attempt at a DDD skip breakdown for everybody looking to do that during Summer League, or if you're just wanting to get a zero-star run in general and maybe not have as much headache over it. Over the last couple years, I have found my fair share of resources through Discord or word of mouth, or etc., etc. I'm going to be linking all of those in the description for you to comb through if you wish. But I will also be giving you my personal recommendations and tips and tricks on how to do the trick in this tutorial. I will not be going over how to do LBLJ. There are plenty of tutorials already online on how to do that. I will specifically be trying to give you a basic breakdown on how you can specifically do the trick DDD skip. I will also, in case you're struggling with SBLJ, I'll give you a couple pointers here, just for starters, since I don't see very many people talking about this. Although maybe I'm wrong. When performing your SPLJ, I'm assuming you know the setup. You come into the basement, do your little click over here, enter Mario Cam, line up so that this top stair goes in between Mario's legs like this, go down on Mario Cam, and I know there's a much more precise way where I think you can see my mouse. People will line up with like sections of this tile. Me personally, I have not done that, and I have not ever really needed to do that. I will just move Mario so he's slightly to the right, like this, and then you will hold straight back, and around this black tile, you will do a long jump, and then hold straight forward again, and then you will attempt to latch into the top stair and perform your SPLJ. Now, some things to note about SPLJ. Specifically when it comes to the latch. Now, I have set up a couple save states for this to try to show this off. When you're actually going in to do the latch and landing, something I have noticed that has helped is when I do land on the staircase, you can hold it for like half beat of a second. You can't hold it very long or else you'll stand back up, but you can just pause for a moment and hold left or up left, and Mario will like clip into this top stair. This has really helped me make SPLJ a little bit more consistent, just in general. I'll try to show it off here if I can. Just like so, where you saw right before I landed, I went and I started holding up left, latching Mario into the stair, and then I went and performed my mash. Ways you can tell with the mash on if you overspeed it or not. If you fly out the left here, let's try to show it off right here as well. That means you overmashed. Whenever that happens, it means you were clicking A too fast. And then, obviously, if you end up just standing up, I believe that means you undermashed, although I'm not too sure on that one. There is a specific BPM you do want to shoot for when doing SPLJ. I will flash that number on the screen because I don't have it off the top of my head. But it generally is a feeling thing. You don't have to go as fast as you think. It's definitely not a trick where you just mash it as fast as you can unless you're going for like ultimate or something. But it's a rhythm. You get a feel for it. You just gotta play with it for a bit. Now, moving on from SPLJ. Now, so one more thing. The main difference from when you do switch over from doing just 1 star to 0 star is when you do your SPLJ, you want to make sure you hold left the entire time, so you end up on the left side of this pillar, so you can start building up speed to do the DDD skip itself, like so. Now that we have actually made it to the left side of the pillar for DDD skip, there's a few key speed values we need to look out for. The first one is around 140 to 150, or anything above that is when Mario will do his first right push into the pillar. When doing these BLJs against the wall here, you'll notice when I'm below 140 speed, Mario will do these little left angles into the wall. See, I'm pushing to the left, pushing to the left, and I went above 140 to 150. and then Mario angled to the right. I can show that off with this save state much better. See how Mario is angling into the pillar on the right? That is because I'm above 140 speed. Now, another very important thing when performing DDD skip is how long and how quickly you actually do your BLJs. You can actually delay your BLJ quite a bit when you're up against the wall and you have high speeds. Go back to the save state. So you see, if I instantly BLJ, Mario actually builds up quite a bit more speed, and it is much more inconsistent and harder to track, and it is harder to see how he is pushing up against the pillar. But if you do these delayed BLJs like this, you see how long I can sit on the ground before I click A? It builds speed up slower and makes it much easier to see how Mario reacts with his speed on the wall, makes it much easier to track, makes it much easier to see, and slows down the speed regression so we can kind of, in a way, normalize it. It's still pretty hard to get it consistent, but in a way that is usable for runs with speed growth. Now, the second speed value we need to look at is around 340. And 340 is around the range I've noticed where if you do a BLJ against this pillar, anything above 340, you'll overspeed and clip to the right. So if you can see my speed value in the top left, we're going, and this one should be fine. And now we're above 340. And oops, I just did too long jump there. I'm just doing this to build this speed quickly. And we're above 340, and then we clip. All our speed is lost. So we want to make sure we get to just before 340, we get up into the 400s, and then we shoot over to the door. Now, how do we track this in a run without a speed counter in the top left? I will show you the setup that I have been using. I know a lot of people do other things, but this is just the one that's personally worked for me in my runs. When going for this DDD setup, DDD skip setup, something to note, at least with what I have learned with DDD skip, is there's no way to make the pillar section 100% consistent, as you cannot see your speed value, and it is changing constantly. At least what I do, I will always go for the same setup, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Once I get this first pillar ledge, meaning I'm at 140 speed, I will start counting to 5. And depending on if I think I have more or less speed in this moment, I will sometimes hold back a little bit, not at all, or a lot on my fourth BLJ. But that's totally, you have to play around with the trick a little bit more to tell, kind of give a good range of where you're at. It's totally fine for you to just go at this, do your 5 BLJs against a pillar, and then shoot over to the door and hope you keep your speed. That is totally a valid way to get your first DDD skip run going. It's what I did. I had somebody in the call with me helping me out and telling me what setup to do, but I just made it to the door and we went from there. Now, once you get to this point where you're getting this pillar lurch, I will, including this one, I will start counting to 5. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on that one, I did overspeed. I oversped there because I did not do the slower long jumps to the ground. Let me try one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we shoot over towards the door. Now, that is how I like to go about it, but it is totally personal preference. Well, not personal preference, but it is depending on if you hold forward or backwards. There are some notes you can take on that. Post-editing loopy here. I wanted to go a bit more in depth with the wall twitches you'll see when generating speed against the wall, since I think in my original recording I didn't do the best job explaining them, since I can tell you way more about your speed than I originally explained. Before I really get into it, all the information I'm about to ramble about and all the videos I'm about to show you are directly from Wikipedia. I have a link in the description that just goes directly to this page if you would rather read from them, but I'm going to do my best to summarize this in an easy to understand way for you guys here. Now, what we are specifically looking for is how Mario reacts on his fourth wall jump against the wall. And there are one of 4 ways he can react. The first one we're going to be looking at is the left twitch. Uh, this one, I'll show it on screen right now, is what happens when you're between the speed ranges of 290 and 305. And this indicates that you should hold back on your stick, or at least what I'll usually do is hold back on my stick a good half of the long jump, and then once Mario starts falling down again, I will hold forward again. Uh, this should correct your speed enough so that you don't overspeed. But it's a bit of a feeling base. You have to play around with it yourself. Um, Now, the second wall twitch I want to go over is the slow right twitch. This twitch will happen when you're between the speed ranges of 275 and 290. And when I get this one's pretty easy to course correct, so you don't overspeed. You just hold back for just half a second. Just hold back and then go forward again. You don't. It's not anything crazy. It's just, oh, there's the right twitch. Hold back a bit so I don't overspeed. It's pretty easy to correct. The third one I want to go over, and in my opinion, the easiest, is the no twitch. What happens if Mario just goes and there's nothing? He just does a wall jump against the wall. This means you have below 275 speed when you do your fourth wall kick, or your fourth wall jump. And I won't correct anything here. I will just keep doing my fifth wall jump against the floor, or long jump, and I won't course correct at all. You shouldn't overspeed in this instance. It's the easiest. You just keep going. You don't think about it at all. And the fourth and last one I want to go over is the violent right twitch. Now, this one happens when you are over 305 speed and is the hardest one to course correct. You pretty much want to hold back the entire long jump against the wall for this one. Or you'll just very easily overspeed because you've generated so much speed from having doing a long jump above 305 is you just get a lot of speed. So you got to hold back a bunch. But yeah, I hope this helps. And again, I will be linking the Wikipedia article in the description, so you can go read up on that if I didn't do the best job explaining. Yeah. Now, depending on the different speed values you get when you get to the door, that's what these labels on the right side of your screen here are for. But one more thing I do need to talk about is actually how we get the lurch over to the door. Now, the best way to do this is when I'm about to land, I will let go. I'll let go of the crouch button, and I will go neutral for a half second before moving my control stick over to the left. Now, you can see I post editing Bloopy here again. I forgot to mention in my initial recording of this part, when you are generating speed against the pillar here, when you are about to go to the door and shoot over to the right, the longer you hold neutral on the ground, the more speed you'll actually build up. So you want to try to hold neutral as long as you can, but there is a hard cutoff. If you hold too long, you will lose all of your speed. So you have about 5 frames to hold neutral before Mario will lose all speed. So you really want to try to use as many of those as you can to hold neutral and build up as much speed as you can before shooting over to the door. Let go neutral left. There you go. Now once you have actually made it to the door, this is where we will start going into different setups. Now, there are several different documents I have in the description that I can show you off. The first one I would like to bring up is this. It's the first one I'm going to have in the description. It's called DDD Skip, and it's in Japanese. So I can't read this very well, but I will pull this up on the screen real quick. Where is my desktop split? So when going for DDD skip, these are all the different speed values at the top, this graph up here, that you can get where it's possible. Now, as far as I understand this sheet, if a speed value is aligned in the blue, you're good, you can make it. So 413, you do bait 5F. You have 434, you do low Cosma. Now, obviously, you can't see this in the run, and I will show you some lineups for how you actually can tell how much speed you have and a pretty general estimate just based off where Mario is in the door. But in with this specific graph, this will help you kind of figure out where you are with what speed you have and what setups you need to do. And in this graph, whatever setup you need to do, you can go over here and click on the specific tutorial. I'll also cover all of these. Now, the ones I recommend going for are the ones I have linked on the right side of my screen. I have their speed values on there as well. You could try a lot of the other ones, but as far as I found, those ones are generally confusing. The ones I have found to work the best are when you have really low speed, where Mario is pretty close to the left side of the door. I like to go for Bay 5F. I'll show you what that one looks like here. I think I have it on. Yeah, this save state. This one looks like Mario being just generally really close to the left side of the door. And how really this one looks drastically different from all of the other ones. Uh, so I can always tell I have this one when Mario is just super far to the left. And if I ever get this angle in an actual DDD attempt run, I will just send Bay, regardless of if I think I'm in the speed range or not, because generally this means that you undersped and you either don't have enough speed or you're barely in the range. The next lowest value you can go for is Marlene, which is in the 420 to 429 range, and I think I have that on 4. Here. Uh, I know what a lot of runners will do is they will mash C up and gauge based off of Mario's shadow here on the floor. Uh, Personally, I like to go based off of where Mario's hand is on the door. That is how I have found this to work best for me. And whenever I go for Marlene, the setup, based off where Mario's left hand is, if it is touching this white, see how there's two white textures here? The lighter white and the, I guess the less light white, I don't really know how to describe it, but the light white texture on the left, if Mario's hand is like going through that more than just like the corner, I will go for Marlene. If it's anything further to the left than this, generally you really won't be in that position. That it's a pretty weird speed area to be in, but it's pretty safe. If the corner of Mario's hand is touching the corner of this white, go for Marlene. I will show off Marlene in a moment. Your next lowest speed value is going to be low Cosma. And I think I have a save state for that here. Yeah, 429. When it comes to low Cosma, 429 through 442, if Mario's hand is just in this white area, the lighter white area, and not touching the, I guess, darker white area, I will go for low Cosma. Which again, I will show that off in a moment. And now, when going for medium Cosma, I think I have that on, yeah, this one. If Mario's hand just barely skims the edge of this lighter white, I'll know I am around the area for a medium. That's when I'll go for medium. And anything farther than this, because once you get into higher speed values, Mario will start going further and further on the door. Like around 450, if he's not quite skimming it, but like there's like a genuine gap, this is what I would go for high Cosmo. Anything higher than this is pretty hard to get in a run. I personally don't know any of those setups, but again, there's the graph I showed off where you can look at those if you would like to. Now, going over each of those individual setups, there are the tutorials linked in the video below as well if you want to look at those. I'll give a brief overview of them now. When going for, where is it? Bay 5. A very key factor when doing DDD skip is learning how to pause buffer, as that is a key setup in a lot of these setups. Let me go put my save state on 9. What we are looking for here, with Bay 5 specifically, we are going to be mashing C right until the camera is facing the door, and we are going to hold straight left, and then pause buffer, attempting to pause buffer. Hi, post hitting Bloopy, I'm back again. When Going for pause buffering, this is something I forgot to mention. Since with Mario 64, it's either really hard or I can't remember if it's either really hard or you just straight up can't do it to get one frame advances with your pause buffer. Do not click start twice. What you want to do is you kind of want to get your controller a claw grip, and once you've paused, you're holding straight down to do your DDD setup. You want to unpause with A, and then immediately pause with start again. So you're not pausing and unpausing with the same button. You're pausing and unpausing with two different buttons. So you can go A start, A start, A start, A start. It is way easier to pause buffer. It's either one, it is just easier straight up, and the other version might not be possible to do one frame advances with. I'm not entirely sure. This is the frame you will be looking for when going for Bay, where you are just one frame past this third pillar on the right. And once you reach this point, you can just hold straight down, unpause, and you'll go through the DDD door. Uh, this is really nice for going for any of the low speed values, as it's pretty easy. But if you do miss that frame here, where we are up against the wall, uh, it's very easy to mess up. Now, moving on from Bay onto Marlene, this one is probably the hardest or easiest of the setups, depending on how comfortable it is with you, since it doesn't involve pause buffering. Um, so how Marlene works is the timing's a little bit different for each of the speed values, but what we are looking to do, let me actually make another save state on this area. Uh, right as I do the text box, I click A. As Mario's head looks down, um, we're going to be holding down the entire time. And as Mario's head looks down, I'm going to do a C down and then a C upright. And that will get you through the DDD door. The C upright, the C down timing is the same every single time, but depending on your speed value, the C upright needs to be spaced out a little bit more, a little bit less for each additional unit of speed. Um, Generally in run, so I'll just send it. And I think my PB currently does a Marlene. It's not too bad. Doesn't have any pause buffering. It's just feeling based. Uh, Now the next setups are all Cosmos, and they're all pretty similar and not too bad to do. Um, say 9. When going for low Cosma, we are going to be mashing C, or not mashing. We're just going to click C right and then C down. This will get us in this camera position. We will then hold down, and we are going to pause buffer. Oops. We're going to pause buffer until we are in between these last two pillars, where we will then hold anywhere from down left to straight left, and it should get us to the DDD painting like that. This one's not too bad. You do have quite a bit of wiggle room with, I think there's like a 1 or 2 frame. I think there's a 2 frame wiggle room. I've hit it on different different frames paused there, but you want to aim to be in between these last two pillars and then aim for a down left or straight left. Well, I have a bad one there, but that's low Cosmo. It's one of the easier ones. I think if you were in a position to do any of the Cosmos, those are my favorite. I have gotten down to be generally consistent in runs with the pause buffering. Your next speed value being the medium Cosmo. This one is almost the same. The only difference is we're going to do C right, C down, and then an additional C right. We will now go hold down and make sure I'm saving up that section. We're going to pause buffer until we are in between the second and the third pillar, and then we are going to hold down lefts. Now, the final Cosmo setup we will look at is High Cosmo, which I think I have that on CC6. There's. This one is the same as medium Cosmo, where we would do C left, C down, C right, and we're going to hold down again until we are in between the third or the fourth and the third pillar, just like low Cosma, and then we are going to hold down left and left until we are through the pillar, just like that. Um, the whole challenge of DDD skip is really getting to the door and telling what speed you have. Um, if you can figure that out and you can land your pause buffers, DDD skip is really not too big of a deal. It's just about figuring out and knowing what setup you have. Now I'll go over it one more time. What it looks like on the door for a low Cosma, or not low Cosma, sorry. For Bay 5, I have that on 8. Bay 5 is way on the left side. This is a pretty low speed setup. If I'm ever on the left side of the door, I'll just send this. Now, for Marlene, this is where Mario's hand is way into touching the darker white here, or I guess the lighter white, this shade where my mouse is on. Uh, I'll go for Marlene. If I am touching just the lighter white, I will go for low Cosma. If I am touching barely past the whiter light, I will go for medium. And if there is like a little bit of a gap between my hand and the lighter white, or if I'm any further in the door, I will go for high Cosmo. Generally, any more speed into this really won't happen to you in a run. You can learn the higher speeds if you wish, but yeah. As far as I am aware, that is everything I know about DDD Skip. And I will be posting all of the links to resources and various videos or different documents, et cetera, to give any other information you should need. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will do my best to get to them. Um, and I do apologize if this wasn't the most clear. I have never made a tutorial for Mario 64 before, but uh, I wanted to try to just compile my thoughts into a video and try to help people out. But thank you for watching, and I hope I helped you out.